Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you enjoy my low voice today because, well, frankly, I was sick for a few days, but I'm getting better right now. But anyway, I thought that I need to take this opportunity and make a video. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about a few interesting subjects to me personally, but we're going to start with immigration. Why we're going to be talking about immigration? I'll tell you why. Conor McGregor visited White House to celebrate St. Patrick's Day recently, a few days ago, and I loved it. I loved it. He's never been politically active or anything like that, but now he decided to make a point. So he made a point about immigration in Ireland and how it's destroying the Irishness. And I think Beatles had a song a few years ago, well, quite a few years ago, bring Ireland back to Irish or something like that. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, give Ireland back to Irish. They tried to make a point. And think about it. There has been so many bloody wars between Ireland and, well, you know who. They didn't want to combine cultures, they didn't want to change the language, they wanted to keep their identity. And frankly, Ireland has been one of the toughest and strongest countries to do so. Now think about it. United Kingdom owned two-thirds of the world at some point. They didn't own Ireland, which is right next to them, like literally swimming distance next to Great Britain, and they couldn't own it. Now think about it. They're super tough people there. But today, I don't know, I think it's just so funny. They have been, you could say, softly invaded by immigrants. Now, personally, I think it's inevitable, and I saw it coming from a long time ago. Developed countries such as Ireland or UK or Germany, United States, Canada, Australia, none of them have nowhere near close enough babies. They don't even make enough babies to replace themselves. I don't talk about growth. Now, think about it. How can you keep constant GDP growth if you don't have more people? It means that each person with each generation has to become much more productive to see any growth. Of course, I mean inflation adjusted. So the only real way to increase wealth and productivity is to bring in more people. That's what Canada, for example, is doing really heavily. Yeah, with international students, with immigrants, and there's been a record numbers of people coming in through express entry, through international student program to Canada. It has been bringing havoc to the country to a certain degree, of course, but well, we can talk about it later. What about Ireland? So Conor McGregor officially is running for president of Ireland. Now think about it. I don't know. I'm not sure if I would vote for him. He seemed to be a great guy, great fighter, great businessman. You know what? I'm gonna vote for him. I like his genuineness. He seems to be a real guy, and he says what he thinks, just like Donald Trump. And I think that's an important quality. Even if you're not the smartest bulb in the room, I think he's actually a very smart person. I mean, he's extremely successful. Now think about it. And unlike many other athletes who lost everything, I mean, he's been growing right now. His empire. He's a madman. He's a crazy guy, but and I love him. He's a great guy, so he gets my vote. I just decided talking to you. But think about it. You can't. The problem is, I don't think you can stop the immigration. Can you? You just can't. You need people coming in, or you need, well, locals, of course, growing families and making babies. But they don't do it anymore. Look at the American dream. Throughout 20th century, everyone has been having so many babies, and American family was the gold standard, right? The American dream, what is it? To have three kids, maybe more, a huge SUV with two rows, three rows, so you can put all the kids in, a dog, maybe a few, a huge house with a few garages for cars. Basically, that has been a dream. Today, it's not a dream anymore. For most people, the dream is just to be able, to afford rent in some small apartment in the city. The dream is to have less homelessness in the streets. Now, I'm not trying to bring anyone down, but it's just a fact of the matter. People don't have children, people don't have kids, and society in the United States, for example, has shifted so hard, it's just not family oriented anymore. If you have children, you need to constantly think about their safety. You need to tell them where they can go, where they cannot go. You will need to be concerned about it. And if you compare this to safer places, let's say Thailand. I have spent quite some time in living in Thailand. It's a beautiful place and a very popular destination for expats, by the way. There, it's so safe. You don't need to think about anything. There's no homelessness, nothing. You can do whatever. And kids, they go themselves to school since like 6 years old, seven. Well, you know what I mean, right? Poor countries make babies, and then the best of them, of course, go through immigration process, and they come to countries like Germany, England, United States, Canada, Australia. Some of them come, of course, through different ways, like the Mexican border and whatnot. But still, even the ones who come through Mexican border, it's illegal, yes, it's bad, yes. But think if you could do it yourself. That takes a lot of courage to take your stuff and to go through. Now, a lot of people go through. Let me tell you about Russians, how they do it. Now, when the war started, some of them they were coming at first to Mexico, then come to Mexico City. Then you take a flight to Tijuana. It's a city right next to the border, and from there you have multiple ways to get in. But basically, all of them are dangerous. All of them are expensive and scary, and you always have a chance to be executed by a cartel. Executed, I mean, if you're lucky. They usually harvest organs and sell you for parts or slavery or whatever. You don't want to know about it, but don't ask me how I know about it. But that's what it is. And the thing about it, these people have so much courage. Isn't it the Americanness you're talking about? I mean, have so much courage just so you can come in the country. And of course, speaking of Russian immigration, most of them right away go get jobs. They work in construction, drive trucks, and whatever. I mean, you don't see them begging in the streets for money, do you? Unlike some locals who decide that that's the only thing they can do. This is just so weird to me. Then after that, it has become even harder. So if you are Russian, you could not fly to Mexico at all. So if you take a flight from Istanbul, then they just turn you around and say, no, you cannot fly. Most people were just turned around and they said you cannot fly. Same was from Dubai as well. Basically, that's it. You can't fly to Mexico anymore if you're Russian because they know what they're gonna do there later, right? Anyway, so right after that, they decided to fly to more southern countries. Panama, it could be, I don't know, Brazil, basically whatever is down there. And of course, it's not just one country, but you could come to multiple. And then through there, they would go north, legally through some countries where they can't pass the border, and illegally through the ones they were prohibited to pass the border. And you'll be really surprised how many people did it. Thousands of people did it, including families with children. I don't know. I can only imagine the courage those people had because it's also financially you need to put a lot at stake. I mean, the average cost of doing that is about $20,000, $30,000. It's more like the minimum average. Like if you have less than 20,000, don't even come. You need this money. Number of reasons, but anyway, you come through these countries, go through these borders legally, illegally, whatever, and then you come to Mexico. And then from Mexico, you need to somehow get to Tijuana, and Mexico is extremely dangerous. Travel around. My point is to tell you that a lot of immigrants they they deserve a spot in a place like United States, especially if they come with good intentions. Now, I know a lot of them, a lot of different type of immigration, the South Americans. Some of them are good people. Some of them come to do drugs. A lot of them are doing drug transportations, distributions, things which you should not be doing. So yeah, that's bad, and that's what Donald Trump, the President Trump, right now trying to fix, and that's amazing that he does. That's really good that he does. Anyway, I hope you don't mad at me. I'm not trying to make a point for illegal immigration. No, not at all. I want to try and make a point for legal immigration. I want to be more ways, more legal, proper, doable ways so people can come because frankly it's extremely hard to do. And even right now, if you've seen the news, visa holders from UK, Germany, they are right now turned around at the border in the United States. That's a reality for many people, but for I guess for British, for Germans, that's unusual that somehow you can be turned around and they try to make a fuss about it. Let me just tell you one thing. I mean, there's a chance, of course, it was done for no reason, but normally, if there is a reason, they check your criminal history. Maybe you really have some history in the United States, which is so amazing. Maybe you did something wrong, and they can look at it and make a decision not to let you in because they really try to clean society, and America needs it. I don't say that Germans and British should be turned around, probably not, but they're checking people. For you could get in, whatever, like you don't even think about it. You could get in for British and Germans, but today they check people on a person to person basis. Yeah. Anyway, let's keep going. So families. Family is not the standard anymore. Not in Ireland, not in Germany, not in the United States. Not in Ghana has children now because life is more about most people I know in their 20s and early 30s, they don't even think about making babies. They focus on careers. And we was talking about taxes, money, some sort of success. To me, it sounds so weird. Look, I understand you need to have money, I understand you need to have success, but it looks like some sort of slavery in that sense. I mean, most careers people talk about, they are garbage careers, and AI will replace them like in 3 years. To me, whatever. This is not a career. Like you're gonna be replaced in 3 years. What are you talking about? It's not a career. But family is something profound. It's big. You're gonna have, your surname will be passed on to next generation. You'll raise your replacement in a sense, and you're gonna have hopefully friends in your kids. You can do so many things together, and I think family is such a beautiful thing. But today, somehow it's frowned upon. If you have a baby in your early 20s, you are definitely an idiot. It doesn't matter you're a boy or girl, you're definitely an idiot. You lost your whole life. Why you lost your whole life? Well, because you have right now a few years, like, what, 2, 3 years less to focus on their career, and that's why you're going to be a failure. And come on, it's a bunch of baloney. So society tells that you need to focus on the job. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, your early 20s is the easiest time to be to be a mother and a father. Well, not maybe a father, but mother for sure. I mean, your body is just rock and rolling. It's ready for anything, ready for action. You can get that done. But then people have it in their 30s and then have complications and everything. Yeah, whatever. Okay, the truth is, it looks like there is no any reverse in this. Now, okay, I'll give you example of Japan and Korea. These two countries don't have immigration. They didn't have until now. South Korea has the lowest fertility rate in the world. Just so you know, it's 1.6 or something like that, way below replacement level. And I have a lot of friends from Korea. Yeah, so they had this weird thing like to have kids, they need to wait till their parents to retire and also agree that they actually want to help them with children. And that's a accepted norm. So they're waiting for their parents to retire, and then parents take care of the children while my mom and dad they're working, and they have to work both jobs because one job definitely does not cover anything. Even if you are a senior developer for Samsung, whatever, you're not gonna have enough money to have a decent life and career. And yeah, family is very important. So they help you. That's one way to do it. But again, that's why no one has children because it's just impossible. Same in Japan. And populations are going down, they are shrinking. And since 2024, late 2024, they both implemented immigration policies, more like worker policies for people to come and work on long term work visas. So that had never been before. It's first for Japan and Korea. And yeah, and I promise you it will be growing into policies so they can stay and become local because, well, these people will be having families with local women and everything. They'll just be doing that. And these countries don't have any choice but to go the same exact route as Germany did or England did or even Ireland. Irish don't have kids and they won't in any time in the future. So think about it. Now, that's the point I wanted to make. Maybe one thing I could add, the laws, the family laws, that, let's say Canada, I'm really familiar with Canadian laws, and I told you the story before about the Circus du Soleil, yeah, founder, how he was scammed into paying a whole bunch of money to a woman he's never lived with, he's never been married to. He proposed to her, she declined. Yeah, they were boyfriend girlfriend, yet in the court, she said, well, he gave me his money and now I don't have money. Well, I want him to pay me more. She won because the law says a woman can't lose standard of living. A man can, but women can, cannot. So a man has to pay. Now think yourself, let's say you're a guy. Imagine if you're even a woman watching me. Like, imagine if you were a guy. How would you go in such a deal? Like logically, there's no any reason at all to go for such a deal. Women always try to make it about money in the Western societies. But again, the problem is if you want to make it about money, you can get much better bang for the buck. I mean, somewhere in Philippines, if you know what I'm talking about, Thailand, doesn't matter. You'll have a proper feminine experience right next to yourself if the question is the money. The funny thing, most Filipino women, they don't even really focus that much on money. Like most people I know who are dating or married to Filipino women, they themselves impress themselves how feminine they are, and money is really, I mean, they don't ask for much. So the point is, there has to be some adjustments in a Western civilization because I just promise it will be replaced 100% sometime in the future. It just will. No, nothing to do about it. I guess you can choose like which countries you want immigrants to come from. And for example, in Canada, number one is India, number two is Philippines. So that's the choice. If you prefer maybe more Arabic people, you can focus on that. The Eastern European, for example, each one has their qualities. Yeah. So guys, anyway, that's just a few thoughts I wanted to share with you. So thank you for listening, for watching, and you have a beautiful day. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.